Nut and Fancy project, year 8. This will be my feature length, whatever that is, 20, 30, 40 minutes or more, detailed tabletop review, finally, on the FN17S. If you're interested in this gun, the details of this gun, accuracy, ergonomics, reliability, quality, value, you're in the right place. I'll probably share some information in this tabletop review that will help you in your purchasing decision or reaffirm your purchase decision if you already have a 17S. I'm going to start out by saying, and my viewers know this, I won't review a gun just because it's cool. There's lots of cool guns that will never make it to tabletop review here in the project. Tons. Just because they're hyped in print media, television, other internet venues, I'm not so easily impressed. Just because it's used in a video game and lots of guys are talking about it and they act like it's the coolest gun ever made. No. Tons and tons of guns I just will never review. The sister gun to this, the 5.56, the 16S, I never have plans to review that gun. I may talk about why, but I'm not. It's a cool gun. Lots of cool guns. Again, they won't make it to tabletop review. A gun has to make sense to me. It has to be applicable in several and meaningful POUs for me to make time for it, to do TNR on it, and then finally, hopefully bring it to tabletop review. So all that information, all the data is collated in one location for my subscribers. This is a by request video, by the way. Speaking of my subscribers, they would not let me forget that I did not do the 17S review. Well, officially. If you've been watching the project for any length of time, let's say since 2011, you've seen this gun a lot. It shot in the Have No Fear shoot when it was pitted against the RFB, the M1A, I forget what other guns. It was in Operation Red Skies. It's been a guest in maybe another shoot, I forget. And in those videos, I pretty much reviewed the 17S in my own experience, my own run and gun experience at the time on camera. Is it a complete tabletop review where I go step by step, which I will attempt to do here? No, it's not. But the information's out there. And I thought it would be sufficient, to be honest with you. I thought, man, do I have to do a tabletop? I mean, I've shot it so many times. The answer is yeah, I do. My guys just will not let me forget. And we might want to remember, too, it's also featured on the Fear No Evil t-shirt that has been selling for years here. By the way, we just reordered those by popular demand. Another thing my subs would not let me forget. They said we need some more Fear No Evil shirts. And there's the 17S. That's an image of when I did some run and gun with it. So you're in the right place. If you like this gun, dude, I think you're going to like the review. This is not just a cool gun, because in this caliber, 7.62 by 51, it makes a lot of sense. In my other 308 battle rifle reviews, I hammer hard the issue of weight, and that's where I'm going to start the review. The issue of SAWC. This is a gun that gets it right. The 17S. Moreover, it is a gun that was built for the military. Oh, then, by the way, we'll make it available to the civilian market too. Here's a 2012 FN catalog. And it is based, as most y'all know, on the Mark 17. Once upon a time, the Heavy Scar. Still in operation, according to my understanding, in the U.S. military and several theaters of war, usually, if not exclusively, in the SOCOM community. Special Operations Command. And then FN smartly said, hey, let's do a civilian version. It won't be select fire. You know, it'll be semi-auto, and lo and behold, you flip the catalog around and you see the gun that's on the table right here, 17S. And the 16S. I know you guys are wondering, why are you never going to review the 16S? Let me just get this out of the way. What's it do that the M4 doesn't? Exactly, not much. It's the same capabilities. I mean, I'd much rather have the ergonomics, the parts compatibility of an AR-15 rather than a SCAR 16S. And I guess the military finally put it together as well because they discontinued that from SOCOM. I think all they're running now is a Mark 17 with a caliber conversion kit, which you could debate whether that even makes sense. Because what results is put in a sub caliber. It's a heavier rifle than the M4 competitor. Whatever. And this won't be an end-all history lesson of the type. I'm not going to go and delve into the military background of this gun. I'm going to delve into my background. We've got plenty of shooting experience. Lots and lots of rounds fired through this gun type. That's what I'm going to do. I bring that to the table. I don't have to rely on the military's data. I may refer to it incidentally if I think it helps, you know, talk about the different talking points. Definitely. But I think we left off at the most important aspect of SAWC, and that is weight. Okay, naked. This gun weighs an incredible, let's go to the catalog again. And by the way, you remember my other 3 battle rifle reviews? What's a standard weight? And off in the wings, I'm going to throw this one in right now. This is a Kel-Tec RFB, by the way, reviewed, recommended here in the project. Bullpup, great gun, not super light. I think Kel-Tec's website says it's like, what, 8.1 pounds? On my scale with a magazine inserted, which is always how you should weigh a gun, it's 9 pounds 4 ounces. So the answer is, what's your standard weight for a .308 battle rifle? I would say about 9 to 10 pounds without optics is what I've seen here in tabletop and testing and review. This gun, however, gets it right, and it is a very svelte 8 pounds. Is that the lightest .308 semi-automatic rifle for sale to the civilian community? No, it's not. I think the SW, that is Smith & Wesson M&P 10, is a little bit lighter at 7.8 pounds. It also has an 18-inch barrel. This one has a 16.25-inch barrel, but it's still a big win. This is a gun that was thoughtfully produced, adapted, I should say, from the Mark 17. It basically is a Mark 17. Just, again, no select fire. And that takes us into an interesting, perhaps short discussion on philosophy of use. In other .308 battle rifles, I say hard hitter CQB rifle, and I can't think of a better option than this gun. Maybe the Kel-Tec. The Kel-Tec is very compact. Not the lightest. Start lifting nothing. Right. This one, as you can see with the stock folded, is about the same overall length. You know, would I do an entry with the stock folded? Absolutely not. I wouldn't. But I mean, if you had to do an emergency shoot, you can. The gun will shoot with a stock folded. By hard hitter, I mean, if you're running, let's just call it .308 battle rifle, you complicate your enemy's armor solution, like I've said a ton. They're going to have to amp up all the way to level 4 plate. You're going to be able to defeat glass. You're going to be able to defeat moderate, remember I said moderate, not huge, but moderate obstacles. Walls, some timber, some light masonry can be defeated with this gun. That may be important if you're perp, whoever you are, police officer, for constitutional law enforcement, I'm talking sheriff, military operator, be the Mark 17, not this gun. That's a gun that can get it done. Create some big problems for the bad guys. Hard hitter CQB. How about as a primary WRL rifle? I would say probably not. Even though it is lighter, I just think the cartridge itself, that is .308, is just too heavy. I think you'd be a lot better served, like I said, by an SPR build of some sort. That is an AR-15 with an 18-inch barrel, fluted. Is a 5.56 the best cartridge? And I'm repeating myself, I've said this a lot. No, it's not. It's a freaking pea shooter. But SAWC trumps. I mean, I carry a lot more 5.56 than I can this round. And if I'm on foot, I have no, motorized transportation. Dude, you and I both know we're going to run out of steam. So be realistic. I don't think there's a good WRL option unless you know you're not going to be transporting your ammunition and what are actually pretty heavy magazines too. We'll talk about that here in a sec. Police team rifle, absolutely. I think there's a few departments using it. In fact, I have a friend that gave me some information, not on this one, but its predecessor, Scar Heavy. Mostly liked it. There are a couple downsides I hope to remember to tell you guys. I think it'd be an excellent police team rifle because it is portable. You can do entries with it, and yet it is accurate, as we will see, enough to make a long shot into a very small group. How about 3-gun competition rifle? I think there's plenty of guys running this. I know the FM team runs it, of course. They demonstrate how capable it is. Every manufacturer, not every, but it seems like most manufacturers are running competitive teams to sell their products, which is cool. I'm all for it. I think it's awesome. You know, if you have a high power factor competition, would I opt for an FN17S? I wouldn't hesitate. That's for sure. Again, it is, you know, pretty lightweight, not the lightest, but could work. How about hog rifle? I would love to do that with this gun. Haven't done it. I'm talking about the hog infestation in the southeastern portion of the United States. Maybe elsewhere. You hit them with a 308, dude, that sucker's going down. Yeah, I know. You hit them with a 5.56 of a proper load, they'll do the same thing. Or 6.8 SPC. I get it. And then home defense. 308's too much, dude. For home defense, I'd just opt for a pistol or shotgun with birdshot alternating lastly with you know, maybe number 4 buck. That'd be a better option for me. That's your POU discussion. I've talked at length in a lot of my other 308 battle rifle reviews. You can reference those if you want more in-depth information. Let's go point by point. And while I'm doing this review, by the way, you're going to see a lot of shooting that we've done. I'm going to roll it in here, maybe an inset, maybe I'll do an overlay. I don't know. And speaking of which, it's been a while since we've been shooting this gun. 2011, so early 2011 is when I personally first started shooting the 17S. Off and on, it wasn't consistent. It's just, you know, on a couple outings here and there. So I may forget some stuff you may hear me say in video, so maybe I'll make an observation. I know, I do remember, jumping ahead to ergonomics, I hated the trigger.
Love the gun. I don't
absolutely hated the trigger. It sucked. This one has an aftermarket trigger. We'll talk about it in accessories, but yeah, but I'll throw that out there just in case I forget something. I'm sorry, I can't remember it all. Let's start off with the quality levels of this gun. I am a big fan of FN quality. Imagine that you have a defense contractor, FN, who produces coordinates to the manufacturing process, ISO 9001, by the way, and it produces military products for various militaries, certainly the U.S. military, like GP240, aircraft guns, all the Mini-Me, on and on it goes. This gun features that same quality level. You have seen in other reviews when I detect this, that is a military spec quality. And I know that term is abused a lot, but I'm going to use it here. I get excited because that means this is actually built for warfighting. Okay, I don't know if you can say that about, and I don't want to pick on this gun, but the RFB. Is this built for warfighting to ISO 9000, 9001? No, it's not. Not to say it isn't awesome, not to say it isn't high quality. Go watch that review. That's not my point. But it does not come from a defense contractor that makes combat weapons whose purpose is to save lives and kill bad guys, if we get right down to what it's all about. And the reason I want to start there is because look at the barrel. The barrel is typical FN, and that means it is cold hammer forged, chrome lined. It is rated by FN to 16,000 rounds. That's pretty awesome, if you ask me. I do think the barrel is skinny for a .308 caliber, and that is a criticism I will level to the 17S. That is one reason why the gun weighs what it does, because the barrel is not that thick. Would I call it a pencil barrel in a 7.62 caliber? Probably not. You know, let's pick on the Smith & Wesson M&P 10. That's a skinny barrel. I've shot that gun, it shoots well, and I've shot this gun, it shoots well. Well, nothing. Why do you care if the barrel's skinny then? It's just duration of fire. That's why. If I'm doing mag dump after mag dump, I'm putting a lot of rounds through it. I just want more metal so, you know, it heats up slower, that it has a longer capability. Is that a realistic concern? I don't know. It's just one of my pet peeves. I like it. That being said, the FN17S, like any other CHF barrel, can get the job done. Witness, for instance, the Arsenal produced AK rifles. Those are cold hammer forged. They have very small barrels. They're thinner than this. Same caliber. Talking 7.62 by 39. Same diameter of bullet is my meaning here. It's a great barrel. I'm going to level criticism here though. I wish it was available, readily available to civilians in other barrel lengths. You know, I think this is a easily swapped out barrel. 6 screws, I believe. How about you make available an 18-inch barrel and a 20-inch barrel? I mean, the military's running what? The Mark 20 Mod 0. That is a 20-inch version of the Mark 17, if my facts are straight. Probably aren't. Mostly the Mark 17 Mod 0 is running 16-inch barrel lengths. This gun But in a .308 caliber, I've said this in other reviews, I am consistent in this, I prefer an 18-inch barrel. For blast, I want more muzzle velocity. But nothing, this gun will range out to 600 meters. I know, I've done it. You're watching footage of us doing it. PFI dude myself doing it, Operation Red Skies. I know, but I still like it. I wish it was available. It is not. You go on the website, you just don't see other barrels. There are other, I think, companies making them. You might want to look into that. I think most guys don't care. They'll say, hey, 16-inch barrel, that's perfect. And the reason I say that is because the most popular seller in .308 battle rifles, barrel size, with manufacturers, is, you guessed it, 16 inches. Because guys want a .308 battle rifle that's short, it's portable, lightweight, and I think most dudes are saying, I'm going to envision using this gun, I don't know, out to 300 meters if they're realistic. Not the caliber, I'm just talking just generally what the shoot would be. So it is a great barrel. We talked about the length. That is a proprietary FN muzzle brake, and it works great. It is loud if you're standing on the side of it. It will rock your world. Voice of experience. As a cameraman, as someone shot this, yeah, it rocks, but it's always that way. When I shot it back in 2011, it actually had a battle comp on it, which I prefer. I'm not sure why, and this is a borrowed gun, by the way. I'm not sure why the user put this one back on, the proprietary. I'm not sure why they didn't just leave the battle comp on, maybe swapped it to a different gun. I just don't know. I would have left it on. That's one of my all-time fave, compensators for a .308. All types of muzzle devices you put on here. If you're going to integrate a can, there's some quick detachable things you can put on it. Standard threading on it. No surprise there. If this is an accessory, it's not part of the rifle. We'll talk about that later. Then we come to the monolithic 7000 series aluminum rail on the 17S. By the way, notice all the different colors on this particular gun. It's pretty funny. This is anodized, supposedly FDE, so it's kind of a goldish bronze color. I like it. The user right here put a scope mount on. I believe that's a LaRue. He's got a Leopold scope on, which I hate. I don't like this scope. But he Duracoated it, so that's a different color tan. Then you have a polymer, I'll just say that now, this is a polymer lower receiver in a different color tan. The magazine is yet a different shade. The furniture, the stock in the back, different shade. I just think it's funny. The hand grip this dude uses, and I don't even know what that is, and I don't care, and then he Duracoated that. So you have, I don't know, 5, 6 shades of tan going on here. Hey, nothing, is that important? No, I just think it's funny. Does it have to be like monochromatic for you to dig it? No, I love the looks of this gun. I think it's cool. Really cool. This is a modular gun though. We left off of the receiver, colors aside. It's really easy to take apart. I'll briefly mention that in Field Strip. But it goes together easily in modular assemblies. The reason that's important is because you can swap things out readily if you are a military operator. Like I was talking about, a 5.56 caliber conversion kit, a barrel kit, the military I'm talking here with the Mark 17. You can swap out stock assemblies, apparently. I'll talk about that in accessories. All that's to the good, and all of it is produced, again, to ultra high quality levels. Now I hope that as a group, a tactical community, whatever you want to say, we've accepted polymers and plastics in the construction of modern firearms. Yes, I love wood and steel. I like walnut. I review guns like that as well. Guns that turn me on. They're cool. Second kind of cool, right? But if we want to save weight, if we want to be resistant to the elements, you might want to look at the modular construction and the lightweight modern materials construction that this gun has. And it's not the only gun to do it. There's lots of modern produced tactical carbines that do it. What results is a savings of, I would estimate, 1.5 pounds at least. If you were to swap this out, for instance, and there is one, let me get the name of it right, the Handle Defense. It's an SR25 compatible lower for the 17S, so you can run SR25, that is AR-10 mags in it.
There it is.
Then you're probably going to gain some weight, losing the polymer. I don't see a personal reason to do that, unless you just want, for whatever reason, to run SR25 max. You have a load of them, maybe cost-wise it makes sense. I would be very careful in your 17S how you accessorize it, because you will lose that lightweight. And I got to be honest, I think the user, the way it's configured now, he's done just that. Because while the gun weighs 8 pounds naked, which by the way is only 12 ounces heavier than the 16S, the 223556 version. This one is 11 pounds 6 ounces as configured. Oh dude, that's heavier than this RFB with the optic I got on it. Oh, funny how the game changes if you don't accessorize carefully. I'll just say carefully. Receiver's cool, I like it. Has integrated sling attachments here. If you do an extender rail like the user's done here, you're gonna have to come up with a different way. Obviously you didn't want to connect right here. I probably would have just gone with that. Simple, lightweight. I don't have to add a push button and heavy steel sling loop right there, but they did add some weight. You have Picatinny rails, M1913 variety on the side. That is a 9 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock position, all to the good. How comfortable is that to hold? We're going to jump a little bit ahead to ergonomics. I would say it's decent. Now when I ran it, I put an ergo grip here. So this grip was not on it. And I like that. One reason is because it gets out of the way of what is a reciprocating charging handle. That sucks. Reciprocating. Well, an AK's charging handle reciprocates. Mini 14's does. M1A's, Garan's does. I don't have a problem with it. Never have. Some guys do. They get real bent out of shape. Ah, it's a reciprocating handle. There's other tactical rifles that do it. So, you know, hold it in the right place. We should be adaptable. I think they did it in terms of simplicity, in terms of weight. And it works, obviously. Jumping ahead of modification, if it really bugs you, the reciprocating handle on your 17S, you can get something that will change it. GGG makes a 7 ounce made out of steel non-reciprocating charging handle modification for the 17S. There's a picture. Recommended nothing? No, not by me. You're adding weight. Why put 7 ounces on what is a lightweight 3-weight battle rifle? Why? Deal with a reciprocating handle. Okay, I would. By the way, this is a great ambidextrous rifle. I want to kind of roll in ergos here a little bit. If you're a lefty, I think you'll like the 17S. The magazine release, ambidextrous. The selector lever, ambidextrous. You can put the charging handle on the right side, left side. Swap it out. Instructions in the manual, easy to do. The only thing you won't have is the bolt release. It's a dedicated left side only affair. As is the folding direction, I believe, of the stock. Is that a showstopper? No, I think as far as ambidextrous options go, the 17S is pretty styling. How about the, well, I guess I'll jump to it, firepower magazine, since we're just doing a point by point here. The magazine's empty, and I was going to talk about this, weigh 8.5 ounces. That is not the heaviest 308 steel magazine, by the way, polymer bottom, that I've reviewed. I think the winner of that contest is the sister FNAR. Damn, those magazines are heavy. This is a lot better. It's a good magazine. It has a lubricated, or self-lubricating follower as they call it. We had good experience in our testing with it. There are some aftermarket mags by this, and I'll just say this right now, for the gun. I think at one time C Products made some. I've heard some bad reports on that. Whether it's reliable, whether it isn't, it might be a project to, I don't know, get them working. A new company, I think it's called Molon Lab, is making some polymer magazines. I have zero experience with those mags. You might check them out. If you could get a polymer magazine for your 17S, maybe it's at a lesser cost, worth looking into. I mean, you're going to shed, what, 4 ounces off the gun? The way you make a lightweight combat platform is you watch the ounces. Ounces turn into pounds. Magazine inserts easily. Let's see if it drops free. Honestly, I forget. Oh yeah, it does. And that'll take us to the trigger. This is a point-by-point design, materials, quality. I guess we're talking ergos right now too. Like I said, the stock trigger is atrocious in the 17S. It's very heavy, it's very stagey, and when I ran most of the shooting with a 17S, it was with the stock trigger. This one is actually the Geisley. Yeah, made specifically for the 17S, and it is pricey at $325. Trust me, we're going to hit value again on the 17S. That is outrageously priced, if you ask me. $325 for the Geisley trigger. Okay, we've said it, but now let me say this. It is really excellent. I mean, it is one of the best AR, whatever, tactical carbine triggers I've pulled on. 4.5 pounds. crisp, easy to shoot with, a joy. So my 2014 testing I did was done with a Geisley. Really, really liked it. Polymer lower. No, I wouldn't swap it out. It does have somewhat of a constricted trigger guard. You have no other options to enlarge it like you would an AR platform. Bummer, dude. That's a Myad grip from Magpul, one of my favorites. I also love the MOE. When I shot it back in 11, I think it was wearing an A2 style grip. I don't like that one. There are special SCAR grips made for it. I don't think they're necessary. This one works just great. You can swap it on and off as necessary. This is an aftermarket Magpul selector. There's other companies that make selectors if you don't like them. Speaking of which, there's other companies that make the charging handle. If you don't like that, this is the stock charging handle, I believe. There's angled ones that will come down at like a 30, 45 degree angle. Tango Down makes it. High Desert Dog, IWC, G&G, maybe some more make charging handles for the 17S. Again, if you don't like it, we can change it out. The gun includes what I think are actually pretty excellent battle sights. Hooded front, and there's a rear sight. You can see the meters graduation, 2 different peep apertures, easily adjustable for windage. They're good battle sights. They work. Lots of glowing reports. Not for me, however. Every time I shot the 17S, it was, as you're seeing, with glass. I'd recommend you do the same for maximizing the rifle. Yes, you can shoot irons very well, but man, dude, if you're shooting out to 600 yards, 500 yards like we were, yeah, I'll take magnification, thank you very much. The nicest thing about the sights, although they are high quality, easily adjusted, they stay in the up position pretty good, is they're included. That will save you money. Granted, gun this price, they should be included, I get it. But if you were to go out and buy these on the market for an FN, I don't know, I'll ballpark it, $2 1/4. You know, get good AR-15 sights for what, 150, unless you go with some polymer versions and they'll go below 100, right? So here's a stock, by the way. I like it. There is maybe 1 or 2 things that could be cooler. Folds to the side, and that is due to its short stroke piston design. There's no receiver tube back here with a spring, as you can obviously see. It extends and stays extended. It has a strong mechanism. Snap it into position, and it has pretty good reports in the Mark 17 use, that is from military operators. There might be some niggling concerns, you know, people say, oh, you know, it rattles a little bit. I did not notice that in my testing. Dude, if I hold the magazine, I don't hear anything from the stock. It is adjustable for length of pull. If you're wearing body armor, maybe crank it down to here. Crank it all the way back here. I have long arms, that's where I ran it. It has an adjustable cheek piece which will raise it up about 1/2 inch, and we ran it a lot like that. We did note, however, that the rearward recoil of the 308 will smack your cheek in extended shooting if it's raised. Voice of experience. Your cheek will be sore. Sorry. Do you need it for every scope? No. If I were you, I would run it just like that if you can possibly get away with it. Mount a very low optic like this. With this particular low mounted one-piece LaRue mount, I believe it's LaRue, and this scope, we didn't have to raise it. Previously, we shot a 17S that was outfitted with an NSX scope. That is, I think, a 2.5 by 10 power, and I would really prefer that scope over this. This is a 6 power. That's its largest magnification, 2 by 6. You know, maybe a decent 3-gun scope, maybe decent CQB scope. I think it's heavy, it's big, it's got a complicated reticle, it's not illuminated. Well, I take that back. It probably is illuminated. Didn't use it on this one. I just used this scope for the accuracy test. That's right, 6 power, which we'll see shortly. Good stock, though. There are some aftermarket options that you can modify your stock if it bugs you. There are also some aftermarket options to change, I don't know, the stock attachment button like this. I don't know if this is aftermarket or stock. I think it is aftermarket. Built of aluminum, tougher. Again, I saw no problems with the stock. And that will take us actually to the shooting nature of the 17S. I told you, smack our cheeks on it when it's raised, but overall it's a very soft shooting 308 battle rifle, especially given the weight. The downside is this. It almost has, the way I look at it, as a double snap recoil to it. kind of like an air gun. And so it can be hard on optics. And this will get back to my police friend who said in using the heavy SCAR, they went through optics a lot. ACOGs, he said, aim points, Leopold, EOTechs, all went down under heavy, and this is a very important point, under heavy rounds counts with their SCAR heavies. Okay, so that's a data point. I'll just throw it out. In my experience with the rounds we shot, I didn't see any problems with the optics. I didn't see any going down, but you might want to consider that. Ergonomics overall, I think, are excellent. I think the user, and I'll just say this now, threw this forward rail on it. So one, he could get his hand out of the way of the reciprocating charging handle. And then two, maybe he likes a forward grip for his shooting style. The downside is it adds weight. I would estimate at least 8 ounces of metal. I'm not sure if this is the FN forward handguard extension, they make one, or the Midwest Industries. I don't know. I didn't check it out, but I would stay away from it. I'd just go VG on it or learn to hold up here. Keep your gun as light as possible. It goes into action quicker. You'll fatigue less carrying it around. I think that pretty much covers it. I probably forgot some stuff. Ergonomics, design materials, and quality. Firepower we talked about. 20 rounds. They also make 10 rounders for it. The magazines, once upon a time for the 17S, were extremely hard to find. I think they've come back for the time being. All that's subject to change. Around $40. If I were you, I would stick with the stock magazines from what I know now. It's on par with other 308 battle rifle options in the civilian market. I'm talking 20 rounds. Should be plenty of rounds. Get it done. How about track record, reliability, and durability? We did have a few stoppages with the 17S. If I find the footage, I'll show you. I never hide that stuff. I don't care what the gun is. I can't remember exactly what happened. I know this, the gun does not like steel-cased Wolf ammo. That's right. No piston gun does. It's dirty and it's underpowered. Almost every piston gun I've shot, maybe not the LWC, I think it fed it just fine, does not like that. Why do I test that? Because it might be the only ammunition you have available. Yes, you have a very high-end 308 battle rifle, but who knows, dude? Maybe that day you don't have your Primo 168 grain stuff. I don't know. But reliability in the hands of the military, I'll harken back to that, has been stellar. For the Mark 17, the Mark 20, from what I know, and in the hands of civilians, the 17S has been equally so. I would say it's on par, if not better, than any other 308 battle rifle I've brought to the table. And remember, it's designed from the ground up to be a military weapon, with all the inherent quality and materials to fulfill that task. I think it's going to be excellent. There have been some concerns, maybe parts on the stock busting. I think they're minor. I've heard of chrome plating on the piston inside flaking off. Here's a photo of one of those. I think this is from a SCAR Heavy. That can happen. But these could be just quality issues once upon a time that have been fixed. I would not judge the gun by that at all. Overall, very squared away, very reliable, and that will take us to accuracy. Probably one of the most accurate semi-automatic 308 rifles I've shot to date. There's gold medal match, 168 grains, and the gun likes that stuff. If you're going to stoke rounds for your 17S, I recommend 168 match quality if you can get them. There's 2 more rounds. The third, I think, was, I forget. Maybe that was just a 2-round group. So this was 110 yards in the desert this month. This is that Privy Partisan stuff shooting into basically 1.25 inches. Dang. This group opened up, and I circled it here, but it's actually a larger group. Good stuff. Here's Ultramax, remanufactured, which can shoot very well. Match ammo, shooting into about, I don't know, 1.5 MOA. That's as good as some bolt guns. Actually, most bolt guns I bring to the table, FYI. Did not like Remington. That was a hunting load. By the way, the winds were kicking up this day. You'll see it in the footage. The grass blowing, the table shaking a little bit, which might explain why this one, the Hunting Shack munition, it's 168 grain. That's actually a 7.6251 load, 168 A max. Went wide. That load, by the way, sucks. It does not shoot consistently out of any gun. There's XM80 from Federal. Privy Partisan 168 grain match. American Eagle shooting wide. Did not like that. That's a 3-round group from American Eagle. And by the way, trigger pull on this was righteous. It was good. Privy Partisan, excellent, dude. Man, I like that stuff. And that stuff's available. If you see it, buy it. I'm talking the 168 grain match PPU stuff. Apparently, the guns like it. Another group from PPU. A lot of the accuracy you're going to see in the video is us actually doing tactical shoots out to 600 yards with a 17S. Witness the video series Operation Red Skies here in TMP. That is a great data point. Watch the series if you're very interested in the 17S's performance. I cannot roll all the footage into this video. There's too much. PFI dude ran it then. He loved it, and I loved it in the Sledgehammer. One of the best scores I got with a 308 battle rifle was with the 17S. Look at the headshots. That was at 35 yards with a 17S. Owning that guy. Nice. So practical accuracy, that is under slight stress, heart rate up. Yeah, it's a battle rifle. This is OJ, Officer Jared, shooting a really nice group with gold medal match, 110 yards. By the way, this was yesterday. Group there, group there. I will say the accuracy is superb on the 17S. Really surprising me how good the accuracy was. Again, it's a 16-inch barrel. It's a semi-auto. It shoots as good as a bolt gun. And it's 8 pounds, naked. That's, and you see why I say this gun interests me, because it fulfills, I don't know, needs and POUs that other guns don't. This is about, for your reference, a 2.5, maybe 2 MOA shooter, the Kel-Tec RFB. I'm not picking on RFB, I love it. But it's not that accurate. Not that light either. That's what I'm saying though, is you're going to pay more for this gun, but it's giving you capabilities that are not currently in the market readily. Well, there are some exceptions I'll talk about, but you know what I'm saying. Accuracy, excellent. I'll call it a 1 MOA shooter. Some clown said he hit milk cartons regularly out to 600 yards with a 17S. My response is, I'd like to see you do it. I don't care what optic you have on there. I don't ever see anybody doing that. And 600 yards is a long way, dude. Again, witnessing all the hours of shooting we've done at those long ranges with all types of weapons. You better have your marksmanship completely squared away. Your rest is perfect. You can't have any bounce in your crosshairs. Your trigger pull has to be perfect, even with a man-sized target. Voice of experience. You throw a milk carton out there, dude, you're talking out your ass. Says me. Yeah, I said it. Field strip. Easy. Look in the manual. Won't do it here, but you basically remove your trigger module, which is simple. Just a single pin, you slide it forward. Out comes the trigger module. Then you'll remove your buttstock module, assembly, whatever you want to call it. After that, you can unhinge the recoil spring assembly and remove the charging handle. After that, moving parts assembly comes out the rear of the receiver, and you can proceed with bolt takedown, firing pin cleaning, whatever you like. The lugs are excellent. I saw no cracks, no fissures. Granted, I didn't shoot like thousands and thousands of rounds. No, can't do that. You know, look to the military Mark 17 data if you're really interested in that, and that'll take us to accessories. I'm going to wrap it up pretty quick too. I want an FN40 grenade launcher for the 17S. That would be sick. The toys that FN makes for the military are insane. I love them, but no, I'm kind of joking around there, dude. I wouldn't change anything on the buttstock. Veltor makes an expanded buttstock, which has a storage capability in it. You could do that, but I don't carry a cleaning kit with me. You know, if it's going to be on an operation or something, if I'm a military dude, you know, I'll put it in a ruck. Not on the gun. Again, get the gun light and carry it in some other system. Tango down, aluminum stock latch, I talked about that. The charging handle options that you have. Rail extensions, you know, whatever you want. I'd stay away from, like we've talked about. I think it just adds weight and complexity. Do you really want that? You can change out your selector levers. It's not just Magpul that does it. Tango Down also makes it. Moon Lay, I think, has some as well. Different firing pins if you want to put in it. The gun's been around a while. It's been commercially successful and definitely successful in the military. So the good news is you're going to find a lot of, I wouldn't say a lot, but some options. If you want to change things, and I would say more importantly, spend your money on things you probably don't need, then accessorize your 17S. What do you mean, nothing? Well, do you need a different charging handle? I don't know, do you need it? Think about it hard. Don't add crap on your gun if you don't need it. If it does not directly improve the capabilities of the weapon system, keep it off the gun. So that's me. Let's see, you've got the HDD tactical aluminum lower if you want that magazine interchangeability. How about a barrel? You could SBR it and put a 10.5-inch barrel on it. Those are out there. It is a piston gun. If I run an SBR, I'd rather go piston than DI. I said that at my DI versus piston philosophy video 4 years ago. I'll still say that. I think a piston gun like this one is a much better option to go. SBR, also full auto. Also suppressed. Just my mileage. You don't have to go with a Geisley trigger. Chimney also makes one for $310, so it's almost expensive. That is a lot of money. Let me show you this side. I've been showing you the cool side, I guess, of the 17S. There are a lot of options for the money you're going to spend on this gun. It's going to be around $2,600, and that is a lot of money. The 17S, if it's going to take a hit here in TMP, it's going to take a value hit, and it will be reflected in my likability scale. That is because you can get a very capable, albeit perhaps not as lightweight, perhaps not as mil-spec, that word again, 308 battle option for a lot less money. Kel-Tec RFB. How about the FNAR? Reviewed, recommended here. It is heavier, 9 pounds, 11 ounces. I call that the pirate gun. Love that gun. Extremely accurate. Yeah, it's an adaptation from a commercial semi-auto. I get it. I said that in a review. How about the M1A Scout Squad? Heavier, 8 pounds, 11 ounces, but it's not that much heavier. And I ran that one in Operation Red Skies. That was my shoot. The M1A Scout Squad. Excellent gun. If you put like a Cav mount on it, low optics mount, you're in business. It's proven. Is it as advanced as this? No, it's not. It isn't. H&K MR762, I got no experience with that. It's an option. How about the LMT LWS? That's about $3,000, subject to change. LWRC Reaper, 9 pounds, 6 ounces. That's, I think, last time I checked, over $4,000. Damn. That's ridiculous, man, for a 308 rifle. DPMS just updated their 308, I'm sorry, their LR 308 series, and it's better. They're Gen 2. It's lighter weight. They've improved the bolt on it. I would look into it. It's going to be a lot less than this. I mentioned the Smith & Wesson M&P 10 series of rifles. Lightweight. It's lighter than the FN-17S. It is a direct gas impingement AR-10 variety rifle. I have shot it. I like it. From what I know, recommended. Smith & Wesson has outstanding quality, by the way. Yeah, look into that. And I mentioned that earlier. Weight-wise, this is not the end-all. The M&P 10, with its thinner barrel, I'm saying, currently is winning the game. I may be forgetting some others. And then the Rock River Arms LAR 8 is an option. One thing I do like about the RFB, here it comes again, 18-inch barrel versus 16, for all the reasons I said. The FN-17S, recommended in the Nut and Fancy project. It is expensive. You might be able to spend your money wiser. I'll just say that. It will be, again, reflected in my likability scale. It's a cool gun. It is very capable. It is built on a very proven military-based combat carbine. Excellent. I wish different barrel lengths were immediately available from FN. The magazines are excellent. It is highly reliable and is highly accurate. Go buy one if you can afford it. Not fancy. See.
Shooter on. Firing.